Story name: The Light of the Town. In the rolling farmlands of Iowa, United States, lies a small rural town called Maple Creek. Dirt roads stretch between endless fields of corn and soybeans. A gentle creek cuts through the heart of the town, and in the early mornings, the golden sun spills over the silos and barns, waking the people to their daily work. Ethan Miller grew up here. He was 22, hardworking, and known across Maple Creek for his honesty. His father had died in a car accident 10 years earlier, leaving his mother, Helen Miller, to raise him alone. Their family owned just a small plot of farmland, barely enough to live on, so Ethan worked as a farmhand, sometimes fishing in the creek and selling his catch at the local farmers market. Helen was a strong, wise woman in her late 50s. She woke up before sunrise, prayed quietly by the kitchen window, and made breakfast for Ethan before he went out to work. She often told him, "Ethan, money comes and goes, but your word and your integrity stay with you forever." On the other side of town lived Samuel Harper, a wealthy landowner who grew corn, wheat, and soybeans. He also held a seat on the county council, which gave him influence in local affairs. Samuel was respected but not loved. He carried himself with pride and often looked down on those with less. His daughter Megan was studying in a city college, but returned to Maple Creek during holidays. Ethan and Samuel had never gotten along well. A few years back, Ethan had publicly spoken up when Samuel underpaid his farm workers. Samuel hadn't forgotten the embarrassment. One summer, Iowa faced a severe drought. The creek level dropped dangerously low, and irrigation pumps failed to draw enough water. Farmers struggled to keep their crops alive. One morning, Ethan noticed that an old irrigation ditch leading from the creek to several farms was blocked by debris and mud. Clearing it would take hours of hard labor, and doing so would mean diverting some of the water away from his own crops. Still, Ethan grabbed his shovel and waded into the ditch before sunrise. By late afternoon, with sweat soaking his shirt and mud caked on his boots, the water began to flow again, saving several neighboring farms. When neighbors asked why he had risked his own harvest, Ethan simply said, "I can grow more crops next year. Right now, folks need this water more than I do." The story spread quickly around Maple Creek. Many admired Ethan, but Samuel Harper didn't like the attention the young man was getting. That summer, Megan returned from college. She heard about Ethan's actions and was surprised. In the city, she had grown used to seeing people put their own needs first, but here was someone who had done the opposite. She decided she wanted to know more about him. Meanwhile, trouble was brewing. Colton Myers, a local troublemaker and one of Samuel's allies, decided to frame Ethan. One night, several sacks of wheat went missing from Samuel's barn. The next morning, Colton claimed, "I saw Ethan loading the wheat into his truck." There was no proof, but given Ethan's modest living, some townsfolk began to doubt him. It was Pastor James, the local church minister, who stepped in. He said, "I know Ethan. He's no thief, and I'm going to find out what really happened." After a few days of quiet investigation, he caught Colton trying to sell the stolen wheat in a neighboring county. The truth came out and Ethan's name was cleared. A few months later, Samuel Harper fell seriously ill. High blood pressure and diabetes left him bedridden. His farm's work slowed down and people who once sought his favor stopped coming by. But every afternoon, Ethan came to check on him, bringing medicine from the pharmacy, arranging for workers to tend his fields, and making sure Megan had help with household chores. Lying in bed one evening, Samuel looked at Ethan and said, "Son, I've misjudged you. You've shown me what being a good man really means." Ethan smiled faintly. "We all live in the same town, sir. We take care of each other." Over time, the people of Maple Creek united to solve the irrigation problem once and for all. They pooled resources to install a large pump by the creek, ensuring fair water distribution for everyone. Ethan was chosen to oversee the system. Megan worked alongside him, and even Samuel, now humbled, contributed. Maple Creek began to thrive again. Corn grew tall, the markets bustled, and trust replaced suspicion among neighbors. One quiet evening, Ethan sat by the creek as the sun dipped low, painting the water in shades of gold. Helen came and sat beside him. For a long time, they watched the current drift by. Then Ethan said softly, "Mom, you were right. If you stay true, the world finds a way to give back." Helen smiled, her eyes warm. "That's the real light of this town, Ethan."
If you like the stories, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thank you.